Okay, just making this video because you know, Maiden, you made an awesome video. It was really neat, the response and everything. Really appreciated it. Listened to it like I think two times while I was doing stuff, and uh, wanted to like talk about this because I thought she and other people might find this interesting. That like we have this separate because like where she lives, there's like a separatist movement, like because it's like French, we're French, blah blah blah. And here it's a little different. There's no like separation about culture or language necessarily. It's more of a, it is cultural, I suppose, but we call it a bioregion, believe it or not, and it includes like parts of California, Oregon, even Idaho, which is kind of weird because I don't know how they'd feel about that. Um, and goes all the way up into British Columbia, like almost to Alaska to an extent along the coast. It gets narrower and narrower. I don't have the map. I apologize. But if you look it up, it's called Cascadia, and um, it's funny because like I haven't made any. I made a little bit of music, but I haven't really made much lately. But when I moved here, it was to make music and like hang out with people that do that. And then I found that like the scene was like awful and disgusting and full of sex and drugs and just really turned me off. It's like not the fun kind of scene you'd think, like it's not hippies and stuff. It's like yeah, bad stuff. But nonetheless, people here are pretty nice. Uh and like we had this I met a couple people in that scene that explained to me this Cascadia thing. Because I'm like, what is this? And at the time, it was actually pretty cool. There was like a strong like bond between even the left and the right to like do this. And people would like fly this flag and stuff. And I remember one time I went to like I didn't even go to a rally. I just ended up walking by a rally in downtown Portland, and there were these women with these like giant flags. I couldn't believe it. I don't know how they held them. They were like, and they had like, it looked like the U.S., but it had like corporate logos as the stars. Um, I'm like, these are freaking awesome people. This is dope. But and they had their own like Cascadia money and stuff. But it all sort of like seemed to dwindle as the years went on. Um, it seemed like I don't know. There's probably people that still believe in this, but the idea is like a separatist movement where it becomes its own country. Like, and yeah, it would include part of Canada, like BC. They would be part of it. And it would be like Quebec would be if it was actually separatist. Only like there's no like language BS. It's just pretty much English, but it doesn't matter, language wise. That was not the issue. Um, the kind of culture here is what was described to me is what we call the environmentalist redneck. You know, like they like to hunt, they like to fish, but you better not mess with the stuff. Mess with the lake or something like that. You better not pollute something. That's But they like their cars, their trucks. They're not like here to force you into an EV or anything like that. But they that was like the way it was described to me, at least then. I don't know where it is now. This kind of movement seems to have gone by the wayside, but it might still be there. I saw it fly a little bit during the 2020 riots. It's like, yeah, screw America, we'll be Cascadia. And it's funny because I have a friend from Canada who came here and saw that, and he's like, "That's the gayest flag I ever saw." I'm like, "I don't know, it's not that bad. Your flag is a freaking maple leaf. Wait, what? We have a Doug fir. Like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that fly. It just depends on what principles stand behind it, and how it happens, and what it entails. You know what I mean? So I didn't have like I was neutral on it, but I was interested in it. I wanted to talk to people, and I talked to a lot of people in the early days, like for me living here, like 2007, 8, 9, that really were about this. And I found it interesting. I didn't want to like join a movement or anything. But so separatist movements, we have a couple of them out here. There's some in California, of course. There's state of Jefferson, but they don't want to leave the United States. They just want to create their own state. This movement is about creating its own country. So it's more like the Quebec separatists, but just not French, But interesting stuff. I haven't really met anybody who's flown this flag in a long time. But I don't know. Let's see what happens. Like things can change, but I thought you and other people would find this interesting. And it's really neat to create videos and like do responses and stuff like that. Especially when they're meaningful and not just like stupid trolling that I do most of the time. So, the trolling's fun, but this is more meaningful and educational to people. So, yeah, have a good one.